even though you don't remember them, they remember you. And you know, it's somewhat like even when Peter was with Christ and how that he was trying to deny him. And people saying, oh no, you're him. You talk like him. You are just like him. People were saying, you look just like your daddy. You can't deny it. I ran into somebody I didn't even see before, and they says, oh, you're a Jackson. You look just like the Jacksons. Well, you know, believe it or not, when you think about going back to the roots, you need to think about how does this all happen, right? When you think about life and you think about plants and you think about trees, you know, everything starts out as a seed. Believe it or not, even you started out as a seed. And when you think about this, even when a tree or a plant life starts out as a seed, that seed then actually has the nutrients inside of that seed. Therein lies a small little plant that's inside of that seed. And that little plant then takes the nutrients in that seed and uses it for fuel, for food. So when that seed is planted in the ground, that then now becomes a way that it can grow. Those roots will reach deep in the ground of the earth and take residence as long as it can live. And just as a tree or a plant has a beginning, so do you and I. We all have come from a part of a family. Some families, believe it or not, are good. We have wonderful things to talk about our families, but then there are some things about our families we much rather keep to ourselves. You see, we all in our families have the ups and the downs of being a family. And we all have had our good and bad moments. And you know, today is our family day. Today is a day that we will talk about families, and we will go and fellowship together as a family. And you know, it's been going on all weekend too. Even the celebration yesterday was a celebration on the TV. I think there was a guy they called a pope, was a part of some festival of family or something like that was going on. And they had celebrations going on up there in New York City, Pennsylvania, wherever. They were celebrating families. And today we're celebrating families. Not just the physical families, y'all, but we're talking about the spiritual families as well. And you remember, as a seed is, when the seed comes off of a tree, right? What happens to it? It falls down to the ground. Can the seed be anything other than what it is? Can the orange seed or the seeds from an orange, can they become an apple? Can the seeds of a watermelon become a cantaloupe? They may be in the family, but they can't be the same. The same thing goes for you and I. When we were born, we had no choice as to who our parents were going to be. We had no choice as to what sex we were going to be, a man or a woman. You are a direct descendant of your biological parents. No matter as to what led up to the moment of conception, you are who you are. And guess what else you don't choose? You didn't choose your name either when you were a child. It was chosen for you. And in most cases, your biological parents had a say in what was going on in your name. And this name that they give you usually stays with you for the rest of your life. And when I was on the hill of where I used to live, I happened to see a barge. And I don't know about y'all, but in Pennsylvania, they have these boats that they call barges. And on these barges, usually they have coal, lumps of coal, and piles of coal. And I saw a familiar sight that I haven't seen in years. I saw this barge coming down the Monongahela River. And I looked at that barge, and I looked at my brother-in-law, and I said, you know, I said, that barge reminds me of just how I got my name. And he said, really? How did that happen? And he says, well, I said, well, my dad told me about a story when he was a little boy, how he used to go down to that very same river. And the barges used to come by there. Now, my dad couldn't swim. And he wasn't much that could do that. He liked to hang out with his friends. But he had a couple of friends that decided they were going to swim out in the river. And they were considered to be very good swimmers. But what happened was that one of these barges were coming down the river at the time that they were in the river. And they got a little too close to the barge. And what eventually happened was that my father actually witnessed two of his friends die while they were in the river. And he told me when I was a boy, about 10 years old, this story. And one day he came and we saw this friend of his, this older white man. And he had a relationship with my father. And my father says, hey, here is Ronald Lee. I told you I would do it. Here is my son named Ronald Lee, right after the promise I made to you that I would name my first son after your son. And that's why I had the name Ronald Lee. Now, my dad's name was George, and his dad's name was George. And I was supposed to be George. But I'm not George. I'm Ronald Lee. You see, you don't have a choice in the family name that you get. But yet, I have a family. And you see, Desmond Tutu, and I know y'all know or might know about him, he once said, you don't choose your family. They are God's gift to you as you are to them. You see, we are a gift unto our family members. You know, and family, like in my family, is like a tree. We all grow in different directions, yet our roots remain the same.